Hey everyone, my name's Ali and welcome back to my channel, Mindful Living. Today on my channel, I'm bringing you guys a brand new recipe video, which is air fryer chips. If you're anything like me, I absolutely love potato chips. And of course, they're not as healthy for us as we'd like. So in this recipe, I'm going to show you guys a simple and easy way to make your very own homemade potato chips, two different ways. I'll be making homemade dill pickle chips and sweet potato chips today. So let's go ahead and get started with the recipe. You don't need very much for this recipe today. I'll be using a few regular yellow potatoes along with a mandolin, and this is to ensure you get that perfect thin slice for your potato chips. Just showing you guys here, I am going to be using the thinnest setting on my mandolin. Of course, feel free to cut it by hand if you prefer to do so or you don't have a mandolin. Just keep in mind you want your chips to be very thin. And I'm just gonna go ahead and start slicing my potato chips here. Just wanted to show you guys just how thin I am talking about. They're almost see-through when you're cutting them. And I'm just gonna go ahead and start slicing these right into a bowl. I love my mandolin. It makes it really easy to make these potato chips, so I would highly recommend picking one up. And there's my dog Ginger coming in to check out what's going on in the kitchen. Hi Ginger! She's always curious when there's food around, that's for sure. She is half pug, and anyone out there who has a pug surely knows that they do love food. Okay, back to the recipe. So I've gone ahead and sliced two of the potatoes into this bowl here. And this is a very important step when making your own potato chips in the air fryer. You want to make sure to soak your potato chips in water, and I did this for 20 minutes. Soaking in water like this helps get rid of a lot of the starch from the potatoes, which really helps them to not stick together when they're flying around in the air fryer. From there, I actually used a salad spinner to just start the drying process on the chips because you do need your chips to be fairly dry when you're putting them into the air fryer. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer my potatoes into the straining basket here. And just give them one last rinse here. Shake off any of the excess water. And yeah, I found using a salad spinner really worked well to get the first bit of water off of the potato chips. From there, I just went ahead and laid out a clean tea towel, and I just evenly placed the chips onto the tea towel. Then go ahead and cover with the other side of the tea towel, and you just want to gently press all over the potatoes, and this is just to make sure that they are dry before we place them into the air fryer. So I always like to start off by preheating my air fryer. I'm going to turn this up to 300 and let it heat up for about 5 minutes. Just showing you guys here my refillable oil sprayer. So I will be spraying my chips with a little bit of oil today, and I love using this refillable oil sprayer because you can put any oil in here that you like, and I'll be using olive oil today. So you can feel free to put as much or as little oil as you like on your chips. I'm just gonna do a decent spray here and mix everything around. I am going to use my hands because I want to make sure that the chips are evenly coated with the oil, because this really helps them to crisp up a little in the air fryer. And I'm just going to go ahead and place these into the air fryer basket. Just make sure to evenly spread them out. We don't want too many chips in there. So I did do this in 2 batches because I did cut 2 potatoes. If you put too many in the air fryer, they definitely won't crisp up the same way, so just keep that in mind. So go ahead and set the air fryer to 300 degrees, and we are going to be cooking these chips for 10 minutes. I do check on my chips every 5 minutes, and this is just to pull the basket out, give it a quick shake, and make sure everything is cooking evenly. So after the 10 minutes, the chips are starting to look done, but they're definitely not crispy yet. I'm just going to take my tongs here and give them a quick flip before returning them to the air fryer, and this time we're going to cook them at 375 degrees for only 5 minutes. Go ahead and pour your chips onto a plate, and look how golden brown and crispy and delicious they look. I was so impressed with how these potato chips turned out. You can't even tell that they're made with like little to no oil. And I love potato chips, so this is something I'm definitely going to be making regularly in my house. You can feel free to use any seasonings you like. Dill pickle chips are a personal favorite of mine, so I'm just using a popcorn seasoning here actually. It's a Colonel's dill pickle seasoning mix. But you could also use sea salt and black pepper, salt and vinegar, whichever flavor you prefer. Okay, moving on to our second chip, which is a sweet potato chip. Just gonna go ahead and cut my sweet potato in half. I am just using one sweet potato today. And again, I'll be using my mandolin to cut this very thinly. Just showing you guys here how thin. And I'll be repeating the same steps. I'll be soaking my sweet potatoes for 20 minutes in water. Then I used my salad spinner and transferred them to a clean tea towel to press out any extra water. From there, I'm just going to use an olive oil spray again. Like I mentioned before, you can use as much or as little oil as you like. It's really up to you. Then go ahead and transfer them into your air fryer basket, making sure to evenly space and not overpack the basket. I did put another little spray of olive oil on the top here. And we're gonna cook these in the air fryer at 300 degrees for 10 minutes. Of course, cooking times can vary depending on your air fryer, so make sure to check on your chips every 5 minutes or so. I just pull the basket out, give it a quick shake, and put it right back on. Then after the 10 minutes, we're gonna turn the air fryer up to 375 and cook it for 5 more minutes. So today I'll be using a seasoning blend I've just made myself, which will be rosemary, garlic, and salt. Transfer your chips onto your plate and go ahead and sprinkle your seasoning all over your chips, making sure to evenly coat them. These sweet potato chips turned out crispy, golden brown, bursting with flavor, and they're definitely a new favorite for me. I've never tried sweet potato chips before, and I really enjoyed how these turned out. They're definitely a healthy alternative to your regular potato chip. And like I said earlier, both of these chips use little to no oil in the recipe, yet they still turned out so crispy and delicious, just like regular chips. And of course, that is thanks to the air fryer. I hope if you guys enjoyed this recipe video today, you will leave me a like, leave me a comment down below. I always love to hear from you guys. And of course, subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next one.